Picture this. You walk into a casino and watch someone hit the jackpot on a slot machine. Suddenly, that exact machine feels lucky, doesn't it? Your brain just played the same trick that keeps most people broke their entire lives. I'm talking about recency bias. It's the reason your most recent experience feels like your most important experience, and it's silently destroying your wealth in ways you've never considered. Think about your brain like a security guard at the gates of your consciousness. This guard has one job: keep you alive. Not rich, not successful, just breathing. For 200,000 years, this worked perfectly. If you ate bad berries yesterday and got sick, remembering that recent experience kept you from poisoning yourself today. Recent information was life or death important. But here's the problem. Your ancient brain is now making modern financial decisions. Let me show you exactly how this plays out in real life. In March 2000, a 22-year-old college student named Sarah inherited $50,000 from her grandmother. Tech stocks were soaring. Everyone was talking about the internet revolution. Her friends were making thousands in their online trading accounts. Sarah had watched the NASDAQ climb 85% the previous year. That recent memory felt overwhelmingly important. She put every penny into tech stocks. By March 2001, her $50,000 was worth $15,000. The dot-com crash had arrived. But here's where recency bias really showed its teeth. Sarah's recent experience was now devastating losses. Tech stocks felt dangerous, risky, stupid. So she sold everything and put her remaining money in savings accounts earning 2% interest. She stayed there for the next 5 years, watching inflation slowly erode her purchasing power. Meanwhile, those same tech stocks she'd sold at the bottom recovered and then soared to new heights. Her recent experience of loss had become more important than the long-term opportunity right in front of her. Sarah's brain was doing exactly what it evolved to do: protect her from immediate danger based on recent experience. But this ancient wiring cost her hundreds of thousands in potential wealth. Here's what makes this so insidious. Recency bias doesn't just affect your stock picks, it rewrites your entire relationship with money. When markets crash, recent losses make equity ownership feel terrifying. So you become a wage earner, a renter of your time, seeking the false safety of a paycheck. When markets boom, recent gains make speculation feel normal. So you chase hot stocks and crypto moonshots instead of building real ownership stakes. You're always fighting the last war, always learning the wrong lesson. Consider this. Researchers analyzed over 600,000 investment accounts and found that the average investor earned just 2.5% annually over 20 years, while the S&P 500 returned 9.9% annually over the same period. The difference? Timing decisions based on recent experience. Buying after good performance, selling after bad performance. Letting recency bias turn wealth building into wealth destroying. Now let me tell you about someone who understood this trap better than almost anyone. In 1988, Warren Buffett was watching Coca-Cola's stock price get hammered. The company had just changed its formula to New Coke, and customers hated it. Recent news was terrible. Recent performance was awful. Everyone's recent experience with Coca-Cola was negative. The financial media was writing obituaries for the brand. But Buffett looked beyond the recent noise. He saw a company with incredible global distribution, unmatched brand loyalty, and pricing power that wouldn't disappear because of one product misstep. While others were focusing on recent quarterly results, Buffett was thinking like an owner. He bought $1 billion worth of Coca-Cola stock. His recent experience was watching people panic. Their recent experience was watching losses mount. Same information, completely different responses. Over the next decade, that investment became worth over $13 billion. Not because Buffett could predict the future, but because he understood that recent experience is often the worst possible guide for long-term decisions. Here's the pattern. When everyone's recent experience tells them something is dangerous, that's often when the greatest opportunities exist. When everyone's recent experience tells them something is safe, that's often when the greatest risks are hiding. Think of recency bias like a rearview mirror. It shows you clearly where you've been, but it's a terrible guide for where you're going. Your brain treats the last 6 months like they're more important than the last 60 years, the last quarter like it's more predictive than the last century. But markets don't care about your recent experience. They care about long-term value creation, earnings growth, and the fundamental drivers of business success. So how do you escape this trap? First, understand that your initial reaction to any financial news is probably wrong. Your brain is designed to overweight whatever happened most recently. Second, when making investment decisions, ask yourself, am I responding to recent noise or long-term signal? Am I letting the last few months override decades of evidence? Third, build systems that override your recency bias. Dollar cost averaging into broad market indices, automatic rebalancing, predetermined rules for when you buy and when you sell. Remember, recency bias doesn't just steal your money. It steals your time freedom. It keeps you reacting instead of acting. It makes you a renter of opportunity instead of an owner of assets. The people building real wealth aren't the ones with the best recent performance. They're the ones who understand that recent experience is just noise in the long symphony of value creation. Your memory is not your financial advisor.